Mostly Ben Chaya.
Okay. Rucham Aboim, Tikum Emshol, Likutey Moharan II. There was Tisha B'Av. Was Tisha B'Av. It was Tu B'Shvat.
You're at a family.
Yes, well, shows you what I know. It was Tu B'Shvat, Baruch Hashem. Now we hear good news that our friend Moshe Ellis is feeling better. Baruch Hashem he's out of his induced coma. And Baruch Hashem, Yazov, be healthy. We'll see him here. All right. So we are holding by Sif Yud Beis in the first era of the second Chelik of Likutey Moharan. We said that basically the principle is that every person, every Bar Yisrael is created to ultimately have dominion over the Malachim, and it's a very risky situation because the Malachim get envious. Kines Hashem Tzvakos. Who is he? And all the tests and all the trials and tribulations that the person has. Hashem stems from Kines HaMalachim. This is what it is. Whereas we shouldn't say, okay, you're talking about, this kind of highfalutin and yomim, like maybe for tzaddikim, from a Kabbalah, for Kabbalists, what's got to do with me? I'm just a small person. We're talking about Malachim, are jealous of me. Yeah. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you are. And Kines HaMalachim is that thing that keeps a person away from getting close. That's Kines HaMalachim. And what's the way to keep oneself safe from the enviness of the Malachim? Reina says this is when a person connects himself to Nishmas Yisrael. Shoresh Nishmas Yisrael. The very root of Nishmas Yisrael. The person connects himself to Nishmas Yisrael means, what does it mean connecting himself? It means he loves them. You're connecting yourself to Nishmas Yisrael, you're connecting yourself to all the Jews. What does it mean you're connected to all the Jews? You love all the Jews. That's a pshat, connecting yourself to all the Jews. Now, when it says it's not that easy, it's not really possible for every, Tom, Dick, and Harry to be able to love every single Jew, even though, it's a beautiful mantra, but it's easier said than done. So how do you do it? If you're connecting yourself to the totality of Nishmas Yisrael, the Malachim can't do, cannot start anything with you. They cannot harm you in any way. So what do you do if you cannot connect yourself to all Nishmas Yisrael? And it says you connect yourself to the Mefarsamim, to the well-known ones, to the Manhigim. The Manhigim, the Kedusha, and you connect yourself to them because they are the root of the Nishmas Yisrael. As this Pasha, it says that Pasha Yisrael. It says this Sarei Alofim, Sarei Meis, Sarei Chamishim, Sarei Asarais. Ministers of thousands, of hundreds, of 50, of tens. These are roots. Every minister of 1,000 means that he is the root from which sprout 1,000 Nishmas Yisrael. Now, we know that already for many, many years, many generations, the neshamas have splintered. The last time that there were actually 600,000 neshamas, was when Am Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim. When they got the Torah, and Moshe Rabbeinu was there. Moshe Rabbeinu is the root, and he consists of 600,000 Nishmas Yisrael. Now, since then, the Nishmas Yisrael were according to what.
When we say 600,000, it's really not the correct number, though.
Yeah, but
There's like more, 1,000 something. Another, right?
No. What I was going to say is that in accordance to every person consists of nefesh, ruach, neshama, chayo, and yechida. These are the 5 steps. Whereas the yechida is when you are one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are already distinct, but you are one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The mashal that the Kabbalists give on these different levels, which corresponds to the 5 levels of existence, which is Odom Kadmon, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, which is this world. And we, the entire universe and everything, is Asiya de Asiya, the lowest of the lowest rung. This corresponds with Nefesh. So the Kabbalists give this mashal, this parable. It's a very famous parable about the glass blower. In the olden days, they used to produce glassware by taking a pipe and taking a glob of molten glass at the end of this pipe, and the glass blower would blow into the pipe. The air would go into the soft glass and create a vessel out of it. And then when it reaches the proper size, the glass blower has his own tools which shapes the kli, whatever it is, and then it cuts it off, and whatever it is. I mean, it was a whole umnus, was a whole art form the way we used to do it. Now, so you have the blower, the glass blower, you have the pipe, and you have the glob of glass. Now, so the Mekubalim make a parable that the air inside the vessel corresponds to the nefesh, to the level of nefesh, which is the lowest one of all the levels, and its perfection, the perfection of the nefesh, perfection of that air that is blown into the glass, is when it stops blowing. That's it. You blew the amount of air that's necessary. That's it. Now it's complete. You don't need to blow anymore. So the ultimate state of the air inside the glass is when it stops growing, when it stops moving. So it's the level of menucha, of rest. That's why we say when HaKadosh Baruch Hu rested on Shabbos, Ubayom HaShvi'i Shovas Ve'inofash, so nefesh. So menucha, the ultimate menucha is nefesh. Beyond that comes the nefesh of the air, that the air is blowing inside the pipe. The air, a moving air is called ruach, right? Wind, ruach. That's when the air is moving through the. So the ultimate matzav of ruach is movement. Is movement when it goes, when it says, when Yechezkel, in the vision of the chariot, and it says that the Rifanim are active. He says the Rifanim are active. He says Ki ruach chaya ba'afanim. He says the Rifanim are moving. They're active because there's a ruach in them. Ruach is an energizing, an agitating agent. This is because the perfection of ruach is movement. Again, we're talking about on one side you have the glass blower, which represents the creator. On the other side you have the glass bowl, or the glass keli, whatever, which represents the person. Amen. Before Moshe ben Chaya, he's doing better, Moses. Yeah. And so, then at the very beginning of the Ruach, there is a level of Neshama. Neshama corresponds in the Mashal to the mouth of the glass blower that blows the air into the pipe. The difference between them, it's also moving air, but this is air that comes out of its origin. It's like the difference between when somebody is close to you, older child, whatever it is, an older child, and whatever it is, you feel wind. You feel wind, okay, so you're caressed by the wind. When somebody you love, is breathing on your neck, whatever it is, it's a very close feeling. Because the neshama is from Lashon Neshima, breathing. This is when the neshama is that area of spirituality of a person where he feels the intimate connection to the breather, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is breathing his air. Now, the air, when it is still in the lungs of the blower, as it were, that's considered to be analogous to the level of chaya. But the air is part and parcel of the life force of the glass blower, as it were. But it's inside the reality of the glass blower, but it's already separate from him. It's the air in his lungs. It's in his lungs, yes. It's not part of what he is. It's just in him. That's the part that he's going to blow out. And then above that, there is another level where the whole action of blowing the glass is in the mind of the blower. He makes the plan. He's doing it. He's going to do it. He has in his mind how that particular bottle or cup or whatever it is going to end up looking. And so this is the level of Yechida. So again, in a very concealed way, it is a separate existence. I mean, the glass blower, that's a thought in his head. So on one hand, it is who he is altogether. I mean, it's totally one thing. On the other hand, It's not him, it's him thinking about making. This is the level of Yechidah. Now, every person has these 5 levels of spiritual existences. Each one of those consists of all 5. The nefesh has the nefesh of nefesh. It has the ruach of nefesh, and the shama of nefesh, and chaya of nefesh, and yechida of nefesh. Then you get to the ruach. The ruach has a nefesh of ruach, and ruach of ruach, shama of ruach, and so forth and so on. Because these are all existences on the Kabbalistic level are what they call a fractal principle. In other words, every level consists of all the levels, and all those levels consist of all the levels, and so forth and so on. Like the Pareto principle. 80% of the people, plus minus, have 20% of all the money in the world.
What?
80% of the people of the world has only 20% of the money.
Of the wealth, they call it the wealth.
The wealth.
The wealth.
20% of the people in the world have 80% of the wealth.
It's a lot of people.
And now, if you take
20% of all the people who has a lot of people.
have 80% of all the wealth. Now, of those 20% of them have 80% of all the money that those 20 have. And so forth and so on. So you come up to like 4% have like 64% of all the money. 1.5% of the people have like 40% of all the money. And so forth and so on. It's a principle that take the same way with roads. Okay? So the country has 100% of roads. 80% of the traffic takes place on 20% of the roads. And of those roads, that include the 80, those 20%, 80% of the traffic that takes place on those roads takes place on 20% of those roads. It's a principle within, it's called a fractal principle. So
Here in Bet Shemesh, there's traffic everywhere. Every street.
right. But if you actually made
rural community.
But if you actually made a closer study, you'll find, it's not necessarily just 80-20, but it can be in 90. Right. Okay.
So unbelievable. They don't put traffic lights over there.
So you take a look, and you'll see that 80% of the traffic, take place on 20%, and so on. Anyhow, so every person has now as when Dora Midbar finished their role in this world, they didn't fix everything. There were certain things that they fixed in the level of nefesh, each and every one of them. And certain things that each one of them fixed on his own personal level of ruach. Because you have to understand, we said that each level consists of all the 5, right? So let's say that, first of all, you have to fix your level of nefesh before you can get to fix your level of ruach, before you get to fix your level of neshama, and so forth and so on. Now, each level, when a person starts working, first of all, he's working on the nefesh, and the ruach, the nefesh, and the neshama, the nefesh, and so forth and so on. When this is done, when he fixes all these 5 levels, then he goes to the ruach. And it fixes the nefesh, the ruach, the ruach, and so forth and so on. That's how it goes. Now, the thing is that different people, at different times, different gilgulim, get to fix various things of their nefesh and their ruach and the neshama and so forth and so on. So what happens is that Kadosh Baruch Hu takes, whatever is fixed is fixed. That's put aside. But whatever it is that is not correct, it's not fixed, not rectified, Kadosh Baruch Hu takes this particular nefesh, with this particular ruach, with this particular neshama, for this particular chai, for this particular yechida, and brings it the Gilgul, an incarnation, in one person is going to have this one lifetime. That during this lifetime, he will go through whatever it is, he or she will go through whatever it is that he or she, is destined to go. And that gives those particular pieces of nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, yechido, I'm sorry, the best chance of being rectified. So what happened was the neshamas were split, to fractions. We have many more people than just 600,000 Jews, right? So
No, but the numbers in the midbar is like 6,000, 600,000, 100 and 854. Like there's an extra amount that no one counts.
you should ask.
Like why don't they
It's
count
not
that?
only just.
You want to be.
It's not only.
Exacting.
It's not only this. It's not only this, but
Everyone says 600,000 listeners, but
but they're saying basically,
around the
number. Yeah,
Approximately.
it's a rounded figure. But you have to understand, I mean, there are neshamas that are beyond the 600,000 children of Moshe Rabbeinu are beyond.
Today.
But these kind of questions you should ask Shimon Teichner or one of the the people who know, don't ask. Anyhow, so and the malachim, they're impeding the way of the shorish. When you connect yourself to the shorish, the root of those neshamas, the manhigim of those neshamas, and you love them, you come close to them, and you love them. With this, you connect yourself to all the people who are under them. Rabbeinu says that this can be problematic. Why? Because there are leaders whose fame is not derived from the fact that they are actually the root of the neshamas that are under them. Their notoriety stems out of others. They're ambitious. They want to be leaders. Hey, they have Yitzhahar, they want to be leaders. Now, these are Mefusam Shel Sheker, that they're Pisim Sheker, does not necessarily mean that these people, Chaz v'Chalil, these people are shakranim, that they're the liars. No. It just means that their notoriety, their fame, does not correspond to who they really are. They may be famous as the church of, I don't know, of 1,000 neshamas, but they may very well be just a private neshama. Very ambitious, and the way that they become to be considered a leader of 1,000 neshamas because he's ambitious, because he's bold, because he's.
There are people who take power that they're not fit to.
That's right. That's right. So if you're connecting yourself to them, if you are being mekash yourself to them, you think that you're mekash yourself to Shorosh Yisrael, but you're not. You just, Baruch Hashem, you need to love them as a private Jew, bevadai. You're supposed to love all the Jews, but you connecting yourself to them because you figure them to be, a leader of Nishmas Yisrael, and you want to connect yourself to Shorish Nishmas Yisrael to protect yourself from the envy of the Malachim. And lo and behold, your connectivity, is wasted, as it were, because these are not the right people. This is not the. So the entire Torah that we're learning now is how to actually come to ascertain who not to connect yourself to. And we went through all the entire process. You have to have Yiras Shlema. Yiras Shlema, there's a problem with, the synchronization of the three major taivas, which is Momen, and Achila, and Noshim, these are all taivas that a person needs to function in this world. You need to eat, you need to pay bills, you need to have children. I mean, but it has to be, to be calibrated. It should be not too much, not too little.
In balance, in balance.
Yeah, it should be balanced, well balanced. And this is how you go to Yom Tovim, each Yom Tov, corrects a certain, balances a certain, some type and so on and so on. When a person does that, he has Yirah Shlema, you have to be very careful not to keep yourself from being a manig, being appointed, to be the judge of the high court or whatnot, whatever it is. Stay away from these things. And then you have when you have that creates a mal, that creates an angel. That angel brings about the nevuah, the spirit of prophecy. And which we said last week, that means that the prophecy, the vision, they take place, they're being screened in the Netzach Vehod. And the normal person exists in the Malchus. The Nevi'im are well versed, they're very holy, they're very sacred, and they know how to get into the prophetic state, which means they can elevate themselves from the Malchus through the Yesod, the Netzach Vehod, and over there they see the vision. They see the vision of Dvar Hashem, they understand what it is Hashem wants them to say, and each Navi is saying with his own words. He is saying what it is, the message of Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to go beyond the Netzach Vehod, and he was going up to spheres of Tiferes. The Tiferes is where the Torah is. So Moshe Rabbeinu got not only the vision, but he also got the very words that Hashem wanted to use for that particular message. And that's the Torah. Okay? Now, we don't have prophets today. We don't have prophets today, but there is a Ruach Nevuah nevertheless. It's Ruach Nevuah, the davening, the prayer, is being released from captivity. The captivity of the prayer is because if we were free from any impediment of praying and davening and talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking for everything, there'll be no Bechireh. Because prayer connects you with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kol HaNeshamot HaLokah, that's on the level of neshama, the level of speech, the level of breathing. This world would have nothing what to celebrate. So, Kinas HaMalachim, the tefillah, all right, let's just get rid of it already. Let's just, that's Kinas HaMalachim does that. When there is this, when you reached a level of complete Yira created an angel, that angel permeated your being, your surrounding with Ruach Nevuah, that sets the tefillah free. So the tefillah free, then your tefillah becomes Dvar Hashem. What are the words that you're saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What is something? Who invented those words? How do you have these words to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The words that you say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with an emes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying these words. Rabbeinu says that 3 levels of davening the kavanah. There is a level, the basic level, in which you mean every word you say. That's the lowest level there is. Then there's a higher level. When you're davening on that level, the entire world ceases to exist. It's just you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's nobody else. There can be a bomb falling somewhere, and maybe you'll say, "Come in." Nothing. It's just you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then there's another level of dvekus, of connectivity, of tefillah, where when you're davening on that level, that's only Hashem. Even you yourself, any kind of cognition of your own existence also disappears. There's only Hashem. Your tefillah in that level is Dvar Hashem Mamash. Now, Rabbeinu says when you reach that particular level, there's no need for medicine anymore. How does medicine work? Kadosh Baruch Hu, gives to the highest malach. That malach trickles down to another malach and a lower malach and a lower malach until it goes into the mazalos and into the galgalim and into the kichovim and all the way down until it actually goes into the elemental, substances in the plants and now when these elements are there, so people take these refuahs and then hopefully they can heal themselves. But ultimately, all the energy, all the koyach to heal comes from the source of Dvar Hashem. Dvar Hashem is the thing that trickles down, all those steps down, all the way down to now. All these steps are actually borrowing from one another. The Zohar Kodesh says, "Loivim dominda." They're all borrowing from one another. Now, so the asavim, the medicinal plants are borrowing from the kechovim that are above them, the kechovim, so all the way until Dvar Hashem. Now, the thing is that they are all balechovis. They all need to repay their loans. Now, the thing is, when there is somebody, so ordinarily, somebody will take that particular refuah, and B'ezrat Hashem, he'll use that koyach to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He becomes healthy, and he uses this to serve Hashem. So the plants say, "Thank you very much. I paid my debt back. I got the koyach, to heal people. Somebody took it and got healed. So the HaKadosh Baruch Hu with it. Koyach, I paid it back." When there is somebody who is about tefillah, and his tefillah is P'chinas Dvar Hashem, and he goes around, and there are tzmachim, there are plants around. So the person says, we don't have to go all the way to Western Union and to send the money and to do this, and to give to somebody, and he'll somebody. Here, somebody is Dvar Hashem, bada bim, bada boom. They give their koyach immediately to Dvar Hashem. They pay it back immediately. So they no longer have the koyach to be merapah. There's no need for them to be merapah. Everything can be merapah through Dvar Hashem. This is like the illumination of Mashiach. That's the final tikkun. All things differ from one another in sight, in taste, and in aroma, in smell. So now all these things, the way that the plants look and the way that the plant tastes, these are all levushim. They're the essence of the koyach refuah is being the lubish. Each one of them corresponds to the core of that, whatever this thing is. We know that the Sefirot, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, they correspond, they express themselves in this world in different tastes, in different sights, different looks, and different smells. So the Chesed would be something is sweet, it comes out of Chesed. Something is hot, it comes out of Gvura. Something is white, that comes with Tzadach Chesed. something is red, it comes from the Gvura. It is yellow, green, it comes from the Tiferes, and so forth and so on. Now, the thing that the specific attribute that is the deepest of all those is the reach, is the smell. But they all have mare, tam, v'reach. The way they look, the way they taste, and the way they smell. So that thing which makes all the plants grow, which is the rain, Nikra b'shem moto, tel tal moto, right? We said moto. The moto, how is it called moto? Shetevos mare tam reach. Matter is the thing that imbues the plants with how they're going to look and how they're going to taste and how they're going to smell. So being that today was Tu B'Shvat, it wasn't Tisha B'Av, it was Tu B'Shvat. There is a famous machlokes b'Shama b'Hillel. If Rosh Hashanah of the trees, the of the fruits, is on Rosh Chodesh Shvat or Tu B'Shvat. The Shama say it should be Rosh Chodesh Shvat. The Sila says it should be Tu B'Shvat. Lagabe Mai said, well, what does it mean here? Why is it important to know? It says Lagabe Maisvis. You know, it goes without the Chanata, you know, when the fruit starts coming out in the little bunkalo. And this is because the Chanata is the beginning of the fruit. So all those that were Nechmat already before, you know, so they go to the Maisa because you cannot be Maisa, the fruits of 1 year on the fruits of the next year, and vice versa. You're not allowed to do that. So all the fruits that, you know, that began before the Rosh Hashanah for the trees, you can be Maisa them together. You can put together all the fruits that grew before it together with them and take Maisa out. But all those that began afterwards, you can't take from this on this, or from this to this. So there has to be a cutoff date, you know, l'maisus. So the question is, when is that cutoff date? So the Shama says, the Shama say, Rosh Chodesh Shvat. The Sila said, Tu B'Shvat. So the whole, it's very strange. Why did they have to have a machlokes? Just take a look until how it was done, until that day. All the generation until that, you know, they took Meister from this up to this date. What's it an argument?
Everyone did something different.
Apparently they're not. They didn't. They said that. You can see that was derech. What were they doing? The answer, which I heard from Shimon Teichman, is that the argument really, the truth of the matter is that by that time, Rosh Chodesh Shvat and Tu B'Shvat, there's nothing that actually, you know, is beginning in between the first day of Shvat and Tu B'Shvat. It's either way before or way after. The essence of the argument was when you say Rosh Hashanah le'Elonis, as we will learn in this Torah, Rosh Hashanah, what is Rosh Hashanah? Rabbeinu says afterwards, from Yudala and on, Rabbeinu says, a person, Zecher to this level, he can do a Rosh Hashanah. What does it mean, do a Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah means talk about, means judge somebody. That's mean making Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is Yom Adin, the day of judgment. You decide. Yeah. Rosh Hashanah only means a decision day, a judgment day for the fruits. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be sweet? How are they going to look? They're going to look emaciated, look nice and full. They're going to taste good, smell good. So there are two elements that are involved in this particular that determines what's going to be. I mean, the fruits are only by the spring the fruits are going to come out. There are no fruits now. But now it's Rosh Hashanah. So there are two elements that are combined involved with how the fruits are going to go. There's water. How much water did the fruits have? Matar, rain. How much rain there is? A lot of rain, little rain, no rain, yes rain, That's one. And the second thing is the temperature. What happens is that during the winter, the veins inside the trees, they don't, the roots do not send, the sraf, the nutrients up the trunk of the tree. So it doesn't reach the leaves, doesn't reach the fruit. What happens is that the leaves fall off and the tree looks like a bunch of firewood, just sticks. Because there's no nutrients coming up from the roots up to the tree. Now, we have a klal, which is very much in use in Hilchos Pesach, Agolas Kelim. That principle is when a body, any kind of body, is preoccupied with either expelling or receiving, it cannot do the opposite. You take something that was keli, that was commented, and you go to Agolas Kelim. Okay, the water is boiling, and 1,000 people already traveled, and magil the kelim before you. The water is rife with chametz, right? How can you take a kli chametz and dunk it in the water and it becomes kosher l'pesach? Why, when you put it in the hot water, why doesn't it, take chametz from the water and become chametz? The answer is that when you put a keli in the water, it expels. And if it's in the mode of expelling, it does not absorb. And the same thing, the water. Since the water absorbs, they cannot expel into the keli. So the same thing happening with the roots. When the roots are expelling the nutrients, sending them up the trunk, it cannot absorb the nutrient from the ground. But what happens when the temperature lowers and the pipes inside the trees, inside the trunk of the trees, become constricted, and the root no longer send up nutrients up the tree. Then the roots absorb the nutrients from the ground. So the tree itself looks like a sorry excuse for a tree, like all broken and whatever it is, and everything. But the truth is that that's the time that it is absorbing the nutrients from the ground. So the basic argument between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai is what is the predominant cause for the welfare of the peiros, of the fruits? Is it the water, or is it the cold? Is it the temperature? Beis Shammai holds that it is the water. Put a lot of water on the trees, they'll have nice fruits. Beis Hillel hold it depends how cold the winter was. How can you tell which shita is which shita? When do we start asking for water, for rain? Sukkot. Sukkot is on the 15th of the month, right? When do we stop asking for water? Pesach, right? 15th of the month. What is the middle point between them? Rosh Chodesh. Now, This is as far as water is concerned. The Hillel are talking about the Tkufa. The Tkufa, the Tkufa of the winter, the Tkufa of the cold time. This Tkufa status goes all the way to the end of Adar. It starts at the beginning of Tavis. It ends with the end of Adar. So what is the middle between Rosh Chodesh Tavis and the beginning of Aleph Nisan or whatever? Is Tu B'Shvat. It's the 15th of Shvat. That's the middle between. And what Beis Hillel is holding, Shammai say, you know something, when you take somebody and you give him water and you give him a lot of Torah and he learns a lot of Torah and things are going, he has a wonderful brain, everything goes nice, that's very important. But that is not the determining factor, says Beis Hillel. Ultimately, yes, without water, nothing exists. But like everybody knows, everybody has ups and downs. Who is actually going to grow? Who is going to be a big Talmid Chacham and a big tzaddik? The one that things are always easy for him? The Sefer says no. The one that during the hard times keeps on keeping on. They say when the going gets tough, the tough gets gone. And it is how tough you are during the lean time that determines how well you're going to do in the good times. There are many businesses that are doing very well during good time. But when there is a dip in the economy, they go out of business. It's those businesses that survive the bad times that are really matzliach during the good times. Because it is the way that you hold yourself when things are down the pits. And I'm just a sorry excuse of a failure. And you hold on. And you keep on holding on. Then when the springtime will come, this is when, Bezat Hashem, this is determined how the sweetness of the food, the look of the food, the smell of the food. Hashem should help us, Bezat Hashem. Tu B'Shvat, Shabbos Kodesh. We're going to get Torah this Shabbos. Amazing. So Bezat Hashem will be full of our friend Moshe Ben Chaya. At the end, just so we're going out of here with a little bit of levity. Said that a man goes to a place and he says, "Give me Polish sausage." So the guy asks him, "Why? Are you Polish?" I gets very offended. I don't understand. What is this? What is this racism? I don't understand. I ask you for Polish sausage. You ask me if I'm Polish. If I asked you for a Belgian waffle, you ask me if I'm Belgian.
Or Mexican burrito.
Yeah, no. If I will ask you, for a French toast, you ask me if I'm French. I would ask you for some Scotch whiskey. Ask me if I'm Scotch. What is this? Ask me for Polish sausage. You ask me if I'm Polish. Why do you ask me if I'm Polish? Because this is a hardware store. Okay.